Well, joining us now is former Nationals leader and MP Barnaby Joyce. Barnaby, welcome. Now, you're not in favour of net zero, so according to Chris Bowen, you are therefore in favour of catastrophic climate change. Here's my question, Barnaby. Why do you hate the planet so much?
Don't you just hate the way that they go about this? That they, with the guile of the snake, they create this guilt trip. You know, it's guilt. When they can't win the argument, they say, well, if you disagree with me, the kidneys will instantaneously combust and everything will die and the beaches will go and the houses will be flooded. You know, I wonder if Mr. Bowen and Mr. Albanese, with all that, what they're, you know, we're so far down the track, it's going to be the case that if the floods and the cyclones don't stop, they'll resign. What are we doing this for? The majority of the globe in population and the majority of the globe in economics does not participate in net zero. Right? They might give sort of a nominal, at some stage in the future, we might consider it, but they're not part of it. So what we've got to clearly understand is this is the most appalling virtue statement that signs you up for the greatest swindle, and I really mean that, swindle in modern times. The idea that these multi-billionaires, domestic billionaires and overseas foreign multinationals get their money underwritten in a capacity investment scheme, even if they don't produce electricity, that we sell power in 5-minute stacks, that the price they bid in is not the price they get, but the highest price in the stack is the price they get. That's like taking your potty calves to the sale yards and you get paid the same price as those brought in the best ears. You all get paid the same prices. Absolute lunacy. But what happened at the end is the pensioner, poor old Australian, they pay through the teeth. And our nation, which should be getting as powerful as possible, as quickly as possible, we heard what Peter Hedgesworth has said, is not within sight. Not within sight. We have put our nation at risk because of this mythical guilt trip and this huge swindle on us.
That's a great point, Barnaby. This week we saw Susan Lee and David Littleproud announce their shadow cabinet. Despite your many years of experience and effective advocacy, you were not included in the shadow cabinet. Do you think David Littleproud has made a mistake?
Well, look, I'm going to leave that up to Lee's. Obviously, I'd back my own capabilities in. That'd be stupid. But look, on a serious issue, I have for a long time not supported net zero, but obviously I was bound by cabinet solidarity that I couldn't articulate it as such. And I don't think any person out there in viewerland knew anything else than I think net zero is just a heap of junk and disastrous. And I can't advocate on behalf of the Australian people for the defence of our nation by getting out of this madness if I'm bound by the solidarity of having to say I agree with this madness, because I don't. And so, to be quite frank, I'm very sanguine about getting out and of being out, and it allows me to do what I think is my duty, which is to tell the Australian people, watch out, you are really hurting yourself. Get out of net zero. It is insanity. You've got the Chinese breathing down your neck. They've done live fire exercises with the most sophisticated battleships on the planet off in the Tasman Sea, off Sydney. Sydney, you might have heard of that place, Sydney. And that's just to warn you, you start treading on our toes and we can get to you very easily. And then they've done the circumnavigation of Australia with their flotilla. They've done their planning around Melbourne, sending their research ship through, research vessel. And what are we trying to do? Change the weather. We're going to have a battle with the weather. And look, I've looked out at the sky. I really have, Freya. I've looked at the sky, the great vault of heaven, and I've looked at Chris Bowen. I'm going to have a look to the sky again. And I've come to this amazing conclusion. Chris Bowen can't change the sky.
So Barnaby, I agree with your comments on Chris Bowen, and I like the fact that, unbound by cabinet solidarity, you can speak your mind about the madness of net zero. But are you not spitting into the wind? Is there any chance the coalition are going to walk away from net zero?
Well, the majority of the globe's walked away from it. China, China wouldn't be part of it. They believe in hydro. They're about to build a new dam on a pristine river that's 27 times the size of Snowy Hydro 2.0. So China's not part of it. Russia's not part of it. India's not part of it. Indonesia's not part of it. The United States of America's not part of it. Even New Zealand now is getting out of it. We had a motion passed by the South Australian Liberal Party just saying that they want to get out of it. So let's get to the reality. Even if you believe chapter verse of everything about how they can change the temperature of the globe, well, they can't do it unless everybody participates, and they're not participating. So even if you believe them, chapter verse, this is merely a virtue statement that absolutely crucifies you for no purpose whatsoever, has zero effect. And in the meantime, there'll be no manufacturing moving to Australia. You won't be able to, do all the things you need to defend yourself. You won't be able to refine the fuel because no fuel company is going to expand their facilities, even have facilities here. They'll be shutting them down. We won't be able to make your own concrete. That ultimately, the price of food will continue to go through the roof because your cost of energy goes through the roof, and you just become poorer. Why would you? And this is all for the Paris Agreement. Well, I'm going to look after pensioners, not Paris. Pensioners come first, not Paris.